Hello and welcome to Bears TV. Hey, we can get used to this. You're enjoying that, are you? Another win for the Redcar Rewind Bears. We take a 49-41 win over the Edinburgh Monarchs, but that doesn't. The scoreline does not say how close that mean was.
Yeah, it was tough at times. I knew there would be. The riders place really well. Paco always goes well around here. Pico loves the place. You know, Sedge is Sedge. When he makes a gate, there's nobody can catch him. I did say beforehand that I think it would come down to the reserves, and I think our reserves outscored those 8-3. So I'm nearly there, wasn't I? Really, I think it was so close, and I knew it would be. But it was lovely to have Danny back. You know, that heat 15, actually heat 13 and 15. He was like the Danny of old as well. So let's just crack on with the season.
Yeah, superb. And before we move on to everybody, next week's the real acid test, because against Oxford, the bonus point's probably out of reach, but that'll be a real test for us.
Yeah, we need to win those matches. Simple as, same as we needed to win tonight. You know, I think 8 points tonight gives us a chance up at Edinburgh. We normally go quite well around that place. Next week, yeah, it's just imperative to win. Simple as. I think, you know, a 46-44, as you say, the bonus point's probably a little bit out of our reach, but there's no reason why, if we don't get off to a good start, that we can't start dragging that back, and then all of a sudden, you know, you never know. But the main thing next week is to win.
First team to beat Oxford last season, we were. So, going through the side, Charles Wright. Charles, 12 plus 1 from 5. Not Charles' best, but as when it came to the crunch, as always, he did the job.
He did. He won heat 13 and 15, didn't he? Which is what was needed. He just. I think sort of middle of the meeting, he sort of couldn't make a start. I think the track was a bit slick for Charles's liking today. We were promised a lot of rain in the forecast, and it didn't really come. So I don't think they got the water into the track as much as they wanted to, for obvious reasons. And I think that just hampered Charles a little bit in the middle of the meeting. But he got his, you know, he got his setup sorted out for the main races in 13 and 15. And if you need anybody in a 13 or 15, you know, you can rely on the skipper.
Moving on, Connor Bailey. Another good night for Connor, improving as the weeks progress. Paid 8, 7 plus 1 for Connor. That moves to number 2, benefiting him.
It's benefited massively, and I think heat 8 now, I think that must be nearly every one he's won. And to be fair, with Jake now in heat 8 as well, we've picked the 5-1 up at most of the ones I can remember, even away. So yeah, it's working. Connor's confidence is back. He's smiling again. He's enjoying his racing. It gives us a little bit of a dilemma between 2, 3, and 4 because they're so similar. I'm not sure if Dan and Jason, although they ride together at Sheffield in heat 2, I'm not sure that's the best pairing, but it's so difficult when you've got 3 riders so close of who to put where. But I've got a bit of thinking to do. I think I'll probably leave it for next week because obviously we won, and changing a winning team's not always, you know, ideal. But it is something I'm thinking about.
Scotland won't have that problem after tonight's fixture. They're currently 3-0 down to Germany. Right, Dan Gilks, what an impressive signing, what an impressive heat 12, because that was looking a bit dangerous at one point. 8 for Dan, 2 seconds, a third, and a win.
Yeah, you got to think Dan's starting a little bit later than everybody else. You know, he hasn't rode in the championship this season, so he's sort of picking it up. Although, yeah, he's been riding Premiership in a few matches in Poland, but I think this will just do him good again. You know what I mean? And he's shown his liking for the home track, which is brilliant. You know, he's looking like a third heat leader at the moment at home, which is great. Nothing more can be said. He's gelled really well. He's fitted in as if he's been here for years, and may long it continue.
We've been here for years.
I've been here too many years.
Jason Edwards, not Jason's best night, but paid 6 for Jason. If you take into account bonus points, he's actually outscored his average, but not Jason's best night on the shield.
No, I think Jason will be the first one who will be very disappointed tonight. I think he's better than he showed tonight. Wasn't trapping very well, and I don't know if Dan's sort of not getting in his way. That's a wrong word, but I don't know if they're riding as well together as they can. It's a tough thing, you know. Do I put Jason back at 2? But he's basically averaging nearly 7 points. He's too good to be at number 2, really. But it's a little dilemma that I'm going to have to sleep on for the next few days.
Moving on, Danny King, a great return to the side for Danny. He's been out, 6, 7, 8 weeks?
Yeah.
And he scored paid 11, including a very important third in Heat 13 and a paid win in Heat 15. So Danny doing what Danny does best, because before he had the injury, we weren't seeing his best, but that is getting towards that.
That was Danny King of last year, wasn't it? You know, and that's the guy that we need. We need solid backup for Charles. The way the team is built, we need that solid backup, and Danny showed it tonight. Actually, that Heat 13, although I was a little unhappy at the time, I think that we could have got a 5-1. I think sort of Danny just couldn't ride that bend the way he wanted to, which let Paco sort of. But it actually worked really well because it meant they couldn't use a tack sub. So you would think I told him to finish third. Do you know what I mean? It worked. It worked in our favour hugely. But it was, I think, to be fair, Danny should have had a 2 and a bonus really from that as well.
Yeah, it helped them not being able to use a tack sub. That did help matters. Moving on, Ben Trigger, not Ben's best night at the office, just 1 for Ben. But we have to remember Ben's 18, he's learning. Yeah,
he's struggling at the moment, Ben. I think there's too many, I'll not say too many people putting stuff in his head. I'm not sure if he's sort of listening to too many people and can't do what they're saying. I'm not quite sure. I know Ben is now at number 6, which is a little bit harder, but it's Heat 2 gives him the inside gate, and I think Heat 2 is massive. If we can get a 5-1, we got a 4-2 today, so he did his job really in Heat 2. But he's just, I think he's lacking in a little bit of confidence at the minute. And hopefully we start seeing the Ben that we had earlier on in the season, and he picks up some vital third places.
Well, peaks and troughs happen for all speed riders, and in speaking to his teammate Jason Edwards, Jason's had, I think, about 3 in his time at Redcar where he has dropped off, but then he comes back better every time. So I think that's just going to happen as a young rider. We have to accept that.
Yeah, as I say, he's only 18, isn't he? And he's young like the rest of the team, apart from Danny and Charles. So yeah, we know he's going to have like peaks and troughs. Don't forget he was probably a match winner at Plymouth, and that was only a week and a bit ago. So the kid can ride a speedway bike. I think he just needs to relax a little bit, and he'll get back.
Jake Mulford, paid 10 for the Magic Man. Paid win, Heat win. By the way, I think that's the most comfortable I've seen him in Heat 2. He won it by an absolute mile. And solid throughout. Just one last where it was a surprise, to be honest. But paid 10, can't really ask for much more from a reserve.
You can't, no. Jake's starting to sort of show glimpses of the form he showed just before his injury last week. And don't forget, as I say, he still hasn't rode a speedway bike that much compared to the rest. I was disappointed in the race when he got beat off Dale Wood, to be fair, and I told him I was disappointed. It can't all be roses. I thought, he should be beating people like Dale Wood now around his home circuit. And I sort of put it back on him and said, look, you'll probably be racing against Dale Wood again in 14. It's not allowed to happen again. You cannot get beat off Dale Wood. And he did exactly what he needed in that Heat 14 and beat Dale. So, yeah, overall, though, 10 plus 1 for your reserve is fantastic.
7 plus 3.
Sorry, 7 plus 3, 10. I remember you saying 10. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic from him.
Bit of tough love then from you as team manager.
I think sometimes you have to, you can't always be putting your arm around people's backs, because I think Jake's the type that, he will listen to you, and he does take it on board. And I think if you just softy to them all the time, that sometimes that doesn't work. There is a time and a place for that. But I think the time there was like, I was massively disappointed he'd got beat off Dale Wood, but was still very much in the balance, and Dale Wood hasn't even got although he rides this place really well, he hasn't got a regular championship team. So what I would call senior reserve shouldn't be getting beat off him. But, he put it right. And again in Heat 8 with Connor, another 5-1, which they're sort of starting to do really, really regular, which is great.
Moving on now to we've had quite a few messages. Before I forget. Favourite phrase that. We were joined by Edinburgh's Paco Castagna, the stylish Italian. Paco scored a superb 11 this evening, so we're joined by Paco now. Here with the Monarchs skipper, Paco Castagna, who scored 11 tonight. Paco, a good performance from yourself. Bit of a struggle in Heat 15, but unfortunately the Monarchs lost tonight. Tough one for the side.
Yeah, 100%. I think that both teams us and Hughes needed a win. I think we struggled at the end. We started quite strong, and we just needed to take it to the end, and it was a bit of a shame. But yeah, again, I felt good all night, and it's a track that I enjoy riding when I'm quick. So I guess that it was a good night for me, but it's just a shame about the team.
From not looking at the programme yet, but it looked like, especially early on, a lot of heat winners, but not getting that important third place, which obviously cost you in the end.
Yeah, 100%. Speedway is always no less places and you win the match, I guess. But we were struggling in a couple of moments during the meeting, and we needed again, as you say, them third places. But we were trying to cover each other. Just didn't happen. But I feel like we are very strong, and I really feel that with a score like tonight, we can get that bonus point at home. So it's very important. But I think we're very strong at home.
Yeah, I think we beat you last year at home. Yeah, your dad was there, and apparently they said, I read online, the Edinburgh fans were like, can Paco's dad come every week? 'Cause he rode incredibly well.
Yeah, there you go. No, it was. I remember that. It was a good night, but this year is different. I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling like the team has got a good spirit in it, and it's just about taking it all the way through the meeting. I'm very, very confident about this team, so I really want to win. Didn't happen tonight, but it's going to happen when you come over.
And Premiership, you want to be in the Premiership or not?
I'm here waiting, but seems like many team managers don't have my phone number, so in case you need it, just send me a message somewhere. But now I'm keen, of course. I've been waiting for a call for the last year or so, but
it's a long time to be sitting by the phone.
Yeah, I know, but I'm doing my thing in silence. I'm doing my points and I'm doing my job, and then I guess somebody some point will notice it and will get me, and lucky them.
The wheelies as well, we can't forget them.
Yeah, gotta make the fans happy, I guess, everywhere you go. So now I'm just, again, I'm doing my thing, and again, it was a good night tonight. It's just about keeping the hard work going, and just scoring the points, and then at some point the call will come.
Last one. What do the Italians think of your new hair?
They love it. Everybody love it. It's like having a Voldemort in the back of my head. Nah, it's alright. It's just something different. At least the people stop talking about my mustache. Now they talk about my hair. I don't know when, but they start talking about my riding anytime soon, I guess.
Well, thank you, Paco, for joining us, and we'll be back with, I think, Gavin Parr for the final part of the Rewind. Thank you. Cheers. Back with Gavin Parr for the final part of the Rewind. Going through the Monarchs. So, Josh Pickering 10+1. From 5 rides, you could maybe expect a couple more from Josh. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, I don't think it was Josh's track tonight, was it? Because it was a bit slicker than normal, as I say. It was slick because we didn't get the rain that was forecast. So if you don't get water into it, it's dusty rather than, sort of grippy. And I think probably, when you think about it, it probably played into our hands eventually, but it meant that it was a bit more of a gator's track, which is not Pico's strong point. I know he gated in Heat 1, but he's not a renowned gator, he's a passer. And I think tonight, sort of, the track probably didn't suit him as it normally would.
Moving on, Lasse Fredriksson, 5 for Lasse this evening. So outscored his average, but after his win in Heat 5, which was hugely impressive, you probably would expect a couple more.
Yeah, Lasse normally does really well here, as well as to think that, I think it was during the winter when we were team building, that we did inquire about him to see if he was heading back to Edinburgh. Because he loves this place. But today, yeah, he was a little bit. He did get dumped in Heat 1, which can never be great. You get sort of dirt in your clutch, and then you have to, take it out. And maybe that got him off to a little bit of a bad start. But as you say, in Heat 5, he had a brilliant win. But then when he missed the start, as I say, he really, really struggled. And yeah, 5 points, probably about what he would normally get. But as I say, you probably expected 1 or 2 more.
I wonder if we had £1 for every time you said they love this place. So quite a bit of money, wouldn't we?
I think, you know what it is? 9 out of 10 riders do love this place. That's a problem.
Kai Thompson, not Kai's best night. Kai is better than 3+1.
Yeah. It's not the Kai that I've seen round here. He looked to be sort of shutting off in a few places and, getting stuck in stuck in traffic, etc. So yeah, I think Kai's probably going away quite disappointed with his performance tonight.
One man who won't be disappointed with his performance, the man we spoke to, Paco Castagna, 11. He was a bit disappointed with Heat 15, but Paco's quality, and he is, even though he's not the youngest, he's getting better.
He is, you know, again, Paco relies a lot on his starts. He's a massive starter. And if he gets his trapping gloves on, he's very good. And today he showed that he gated, you know, he didn't gate in 15 and then, you know, he was not very, you know, not within the mix. But when he was trapping really well. And that's what Paco loves. He loves to get out in front, fresh air, and he's away.
Who doesn't? Justin Sedgman, 9 for Justin. In the 3 that he won at a canter, but then didn't gate in 13, didn't come anywhere, because after 3 races, he was looking like he was nailed on for at least 12.
Sedge is Sedge, isn't he? You know, I love him to bits. I get on with him so well. You know, we have a lot of banter. I've used him as a guest. You know, he's never let me down. But yeah, when he gates, like, to be fair, it didn't look like anybody was going to get near him, did it, to be fair? But then in 13, when he didn't gate, all of a sudden, it's a completely different game, isn't it? But yeah, 9 points from Sedge. He's probably happy with 9 points overall, but the way he started, like, you know, them first 3 wins, you would expect him, as you say, going on to get sort of 10 or 11 at least.
And the 2 reserves, Dale Wood, who I think is really improving, 3+1. I think he's really improving.
He is. You know what it is? Dale's... I don't think he's one of the youngest sort of Australians that's come over, but you know what it is? He's got the grit between his teeth, and he's done some... He rode here for Bellevue last week in the Development League and rode really, really well, beating Jake last week as well. Now, I'm not sure if he beat Trigger, but did he? Yeah, beating Trigger as well. So we knew when they were replacing Max James... I keep saying Perry. When they were replacing Max James, I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I knew it didn't weaken them because of the way he rode last week. And it proved, you know, he outscored his senior reserve, who's Connor Cole, as he outscored him. So, yeah, I think he'll be happy. I think that's, you know, he's shown there that he's championship quality.
Yeah, maybe he'll get a place. Connor Cole's 0-0-0 for Connacht Night. Probably, I mean, I don't know Connor personally, but maybe he's not showing the form he was last season with Berwick, and after his injury, maybe he's struggling to get back to them levels.
I don't know him personally, but I know he's never rode brilliant around here. Sometimes I think he's popped out in 1 Heat 2 the odd time, but he's never had a good meeting here. He sort of goes to Berwick and scores really well around Berwick and thing, but I don't think this place sort of suits him, or he doesn't get on that well with this place. So I expected more than 0 from him.